Yes? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was waiting. So we go live now. Okay. Hello, Sawadee Kap, Salamat Penang, Ni hao, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Xin Chao. Bonjour. Welcome to the Asian Conscious Tourism Digitalization and Funding International Symposium with distinguished speakers and our chairwoman today, Dr. Aziza Jalaluddin, a visionary leader and a founder of the Shine Go Global, an important investment platform based in Singapore, a global network of the shareholders, partners, influence, investors, and business leaders. With more than 20 years pioneering the people development industry, partnered, shared a stage with the Silicon Valley investors, Stanford professors, and various global dignities. Dr. Aziza has now created a conscious tourism framework and a niche for their organization focusing on tourism in Asia. Dr. Aziza, please, floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction and a very warm welcome to everyone. I say peace, greetings to everybody. This is our Asian Conscious Tourism series. I would call it a series because for those of you, I would like to hear from how many of you have attended our last series that we co-organized with Institute Tourism. I know Professor Wolfgang was one of our speakers. So how many of you did attend the last one? Because we discussed a lot about consciousness work, about capital market, and all of that, right? So thank you so much, Mr. Reza, for making this happen again. So it's going to be a series of events that we'll be conducting. If you know, we are gearing towards what I call funding capital market where the tourism industry can thrive together. And that's the purpose. So today's topic is in digitalization and again funding and how they come together. We have lined up a very interesting panel. So the purpose of this whole dynamics, maybe I should give a heads up to you why we are doing what we are doing, right? So I do have a presentation. Maybe I'll keep it to later because I want to get the valuable speakers to speak into it. I just have to tell you our vision is global peace through global business. So the speakers we have lined up for you today, you will be able to resonate and relate to it, all right? And at the same time, the kind of digital transformation that they are working towards impacting the tourism industry and why we use the word conscious tourism, we'll speak about it later as well. But in the nutshell, we know that it's about tourism, it's about impacting lives, it's about transforming the way people do business and definitely travel in a very effective and peaceful way. How about that? So how many of you here are ready to take it off together? Say yes. Put a one into the chat and say yes into the chat group. So we don't want it to be a one-off, like, one way where we just chat and then we talk and you listen. We want to have it interactive. We want to have you speak into it, ask questions wherever possible, and we can keep a lot of the Q&A to the end so that we can have more, answers written. So like what Mr. Reza said, this is a recorded. So for those of you who are going to ask questions, in case it's not answered and you end up not, listening to it, for whatever reason, you can come back and watch the recording for the answers that we will be replying on. So getting on, moving forward in the session today, as all of you know, technology, we have identified over in the world, especially in the last decade of working with people in the travel tourism industry, technology, and we have people in the room that will be telling you about it as well. Technology is the least used in the travel tourism industry, and related directly to that is the effect it has in you being investable and bankable. So that's where the funding dynamics come in. So today, the panel of speakers are not just business leaders, but they are government authorities and people who actually have the capacity to change the way that we do business, the way that we bring in technology, and the way we can raise lots of funds to globalization and thrive together as one global community. So with that, I want to introduce to you so it's not just going to be speakers and presentation. We're going to have a couple of different models. One will be, of course, we will have the presentation model. We will have fire chat. And very interestingly, you're going to hear real case studies of people using technology in the industry and how it is being evolving, and also case studies of people raising funds because they have brought in technology, tourism, and all of this together. All right. And definitely one exciting part of it is the opportunity that's available for you in the industry, even if you're a professional, even you are in the business space, or you are just an investor. I would say just because you can leverage on this huge potential of growth in the capital market using the travel tourism industry. So with that, I'd like to very, very warmly and very, very excited to welcome Mr. Kitty, our first panelist. We're going to do a fire chat. We're going to ask him some questions. And just before I introduce Mr. Kitty, I just want you to know that I just met him last 1 month back. And just in the moment of coming together, he connected so well. And he was so excited about the way that digital transformation need to happen for the industry. Mr. Kitty Ponsiwakit is president of Smart Tourism Committee, Tourism Council of Thailand, and Board Director, Tourism Authority of Thailand. He is, of course, from Bangkok, Thailand, currently the president of the Association of Thai Tourism Marketing. He brings together 20 years of experience in hospitality, in healthcare, digital technology, and from various roles he has previously played in the business world, as corporate world as well. So since 2016 to 17, he actually has come into the MBA world with the Stanford International University. You can go to the website to see more details about his capacity to deliver and how passionately he's serving the industry from Thailand. And I know that recently he was in Phuket launching some very exciting projects. So welcome, Mr. Kitty.
ครับ สวัสดีครับ Thank you for inviting me to join this webinar, and also thank you คุณ Tessa, and thank you คุณ Jackie ครับ
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Kitty. Asawadika. So we want to ask you, in terms of understanding the tourism industry when it comes to digital transformation, what do you think the problems are faced by the industry?
Yes, actually, last 2 years, I work closely with DEPA, which is the digital agency promotion for Thailand to promote the digital transformation. We do the research for checking how much we grow. How we have like the policy from the government called Thailand 4.0. So I list down all the list of what technology that the hotel and tourism industry should have to check how far we from 1 to 4 for the tourism entrepreneur. And finally, we found that the average of the point is about 2.9. 2.9 is still not up to the 3 level. So the key problems, or we can call the key challenge, is 3 points. The first thing is about the knowledge. The tourism entrepreneur, especially for the smaller hotels of smaller entrepreneur, they don't really know what technology they should implement, or they should use for the next year, or for the new futures. And the second thing is more important, is about the funding, because currently the technology for tourist industry still have the higher values, high price. That during the COVID, we do the research during COVID, so 95% saying that they don't have much money, they don't have enough funding to invest. Just only the 5-star hotel that they have budget and they implement already. And number 3 is about the tools, about the technology that they should select. Last 2 years, we can say that almost all local IT solution, they also have problem because all hotel closed for 2 years. So they don't have the maintenance fee to run their business. So we need to looking for the international provider. So and the challenge is some solution is too big or too difficult no localization for them. So they don't have any system that they are looking for. 80% they say that, okay, they would like to upgrade, to transform to digital, or to upgrade from the on-premise to cloud technology, but they still have problem to implement. That is the three challenges happening during last 2 years. And for this year, I think just only 20% of them already implement the new technology. We can say like I categorize the hotel technology to be like five things: the marketing, operation, guest service, about the infrastructure and data analytics. Now only like marketing things, 80% implement the new marketing technology already, but about 50-50 implement the core operation. For the infrastructure, still like 20% that have the new infrastructure. And for the data analytics is good thing that today we have a lot of supply like the initial free of charge data to use, but they don't have much chance to upgrade to the new things. And for the guest service, still like about 30% of the hotels that implement for the guest service solution. That is the big pictures that I collect from during last 2 years to last 3 months. Last 3 months, I visit a lot of hotel operators, like 300 hotel operators during last 3 months.
Wow. You know, you have aptly said, and that's why I didn't share my slides yet, because all of you are going to speak into all the issues that's happening in the world when it comes to digital transformation. And you actually started speaking into it. Why they don't digitalize? Because they don't have money. So there's a lack of access to funding. So they think, because they are stuck in a very different model of funding dynamics. So this is a fact, right? And Mr. Kitty, you talked about the hotel industry, and you also very aptly talked about everybody's like technology means going online. So everybody thinks just getting online is all that is for technology, but it's a whole spectrum around it. Other than hotels, what other industries do you feel have this issue?
The tour operators still have the lack of technologies. Just only like 10% that have implement the technology. They only focus on the marketing side. So all the operation still have like a manual operation for almost all of them. Also the transportation, like not airline, but like the bus or van, or even the cruise. Here still have the like just only 10% technology that they should implement.
Yeah, and I'm sure you will agree that a lot of people lack innovation. Technology is innovation. There's so many interesting ways things can be displayed and shared using technology, and sometimes we are in awe of some of the travel technology implemented for making travel a more fun place to be at, right? Yeah. So can I ask you, what are the solutions you have come up with? I mean, right now, when it comes to contributing to the industry in technology?
Actually, now I work closely with TCT is the Tourism Council of Thailand. We have DCT, Digital Council of Thailand. We work closely with them because they have a lot of association about technology, from like IoT, software, AI, to map. We trying to do the like technology landscape to introduce all the good tools to the tourism entrepreneurs. Because actually in TCT we have 13 categories, not only like hotels or the transportation, also restaurant or spa. We also take care of them. So we need to have the big picture of the list of solution, and also the list of funding. Actually, we work with DEPA have some funding, small funding and the big funding, but the big fund is difficult to access. And also we work with we call SOSWO, which is a OSMEP, an organization that support the SME promotion, that they have like from 10 to 80% support as a grant funding for investing in the technology for hotels and industry and the tourism.
Fantastic. So I think that is the one way we can encourage. Of course, when we talk about funding and access to strategies to funding, government grants, like Singapore. Any Singaporeans in the room? I'm gonna gossip about Singapore. Yes, Oliver. We Singaporeans and maybe sometime Malaysian. We have Malaysians in the room. We don't look at certain things if there is no grant. It's like grant, then we want to improve our business. So that is such a laid back way of assessing technology. But at the same time, when we have grants and all these, it doesn't really add value to the valuation, the capital market appreciation for our business, right? So many hoteliers and tourism players do not understand this dynamics. I'm sure you relate to that. By the way, just a heads up, how many companies in Thailand are listed in the tourism technology or tourism sector? Do you know?
The tourism technology listed, right? I think less than 5 companies. Just a few.
Yeah. I would imagine that. I was today in the Mongolia. So for all our Shine Go Global partners and connections, I was with Mongolia investment community today. And guess what? Only one company is listed in the capital market for Mongolia in the tourism sector. So it's very interesting and very dynamic. So we'll be hanging out together next couple of days where we'll be speaking into that more. So thank you so much, Mr. Kitty. What else would you like to share as we round up this session and your encouragement words for the industry players when it comes to technology?
Yes, actually the Thailand tourism industry by value and by number is huge. We are like we used to be like top 4 by revenues and top 10 by number of tourists, foreigner tourists. But technology wise, we still really slow to implement. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for all of you guys that can introduce or can support us to, and also more than this is like collaborate with us, grow up together. Also, what I really love to do is like to have like the joint venture or like invite the venture capital to invest in both ways, like a travel tech company and also the hotel or tourism company that would like to develop for the tourism innovation, which is not just technology but can be something new.
Whole thing. There's biotechnology, there's robotics, which Oliver will be speaking about. I hope you can stay on and observe, because there's a load of opportunity among all the partners and community that's come together today. And definitely we are having investor interest in the industry. So we definitely will be speaking more into this as well.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kitty. Really appreciate your time. So we look forward to having more conversation. For all of you who have any questions, you can put into the chat group. We will surely get back to you on that question that you might have when it comes to Thailand and technology and investment into Thailand. All right, with that, thank you so much. We're moving on to another wonderful speaker who has agreed to grace with us, and she is coming from Malaysia. So we have Puan Arifah with us, and for those of you who are meeting her for the first time, Miss Arifah Sharifuddin is actually the head of the digital tourism and at the Malaysia Digital Economy Cooperation, which is otherwise fondly known as MDAC, a public entity under the Ministry of Communication and Digital Malaysia. I met her in one of the hospitality event with the Malaysia Association of Hotels, and she actually impressed me with the way passionately she was sharing about how digital transformation is being executed through the initiatives. And a forward-thinking leader, she focuses a lot on creating and implementing national level programs for digital adoption and ecosystem development. I would love you to look at her profile because I want to save time for her to share with us valuable information, and I look forward. Yes, to you, Puan Arifah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aziza, for having me and for the really wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Good evening or good morning, wherever that you are. Let me just share my slides with you today. Okay, hang on. Right. So, okay. So Dr. Aziza has briefly mentioned about what is Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation. For Kitty, Mr. Kitty, MDAC is very similar to DIPA, actually, the Digital Economy Promotion Authority, but we have been around longer. So we've been around since 1996, and we began by starting with implementing the infrastructure requirement for internet in Malaysia. So that was back in the 90s. And since then, we have gone through various transformation, and now we focus more on bringing digital investment into Malaysia, as well as increasing domestic digital investments. We promote and encourage adoption of digital technology in various industries, and we actually have 9 promoted sectors that we are focusing on. This was announced back in 2023, and tourism is one of the promoted sector that we have our focus on, and therefore the birth of the Digital Tourism Department. And then, of course, when you talk about adoption, aside from businesses, is also about adoption by the people of Malaysia, how they actually use digital technology. Aside from just being the consumers, it's also how do you become more productive or even creating new technology. Okay, so I think it's best for us to also share some definition on what is digital tourism. So we have actually gone through a study back in 2023 with Frost and Sullivan, and we have adopted this, not adopted, we've actually created this new definition by working on various references that we have made from global areas. So we define digital tourism as a digitalized tourism sector, which innovates and generates new business opportunities to make sure that the sector remain competitive, it continues to grow, and it has elements of sustainable development. Just to also share the current digital touch points of a traveler, right? You can see that from the point of people making or being inspired to travel, they actually go to social media first. It used to be Google, right? For inspiration, but not anymore. Everybody now, I think everyone should be aware that TikTok has actually taken over Google as the #1 search engine, at least for the Malaysian market. And from inspiration, we do the preparation. And of course, we use the meta searches engines, and then we book on the online travel agent platforms, and then engage with actual travel agents or trip organizers if that is required for you. And when you are in destination, you are also using various digital platforms when you want to actually conduct your travel and experience your destination. And then, of course, after you have finished, you will sometimes not even after you finish, you sometimes during the travel, you're already uploading all your contents on your online. And then, of course, some platforms will actually start engaging with their machine learning AI to actually do the personalization or reselling or upselling that is required. Although you can see that there's actually a lot of businesses in the platform businesses in the tourism industry, the experience are still not seamless from the perspective of the user, from the traveler, as well as the businesses themselves. I also would like to share a couple of things from the increasing demand of travelers. The image on the right is from Klook, which is one of the bigger travel platforms based in Hong Kong. So if you can see, people are actually valuing experiences more than other things. And people actually splurge on theme parks, nature and outdoor experiences, and cultural experiences. People are actively posting their adventures on social media, and then they actually book based on social media recommendations. So these are all data points coming from Klook platform itself. A lot more numbers are being shared to show that people use technology to experience more. And the study that MDEC has undertaken in 2023 also have indicated that, you know, the consumers are demanding more personalization. It has to be mobile first. There has to be sustainable options aside from experience-driven tourism. The global outlook as well, the revenue sales for global are majority via online, and this will definitely continue to increase. The projection is actually by 2030 is going to be close to 80%. And then the ICT spend is also increasing year on year. And Malaysian market alone for OTA itself is valued at 8 billion by next year. So that is actually quite significant. And this is just the OTA market. It doesn't even touch the other forms of platform businesses along the value chain of the tourism industry. We have also embarked on a digital maturity study, just like what Kitty had done with Deepa. We looked at the overall digital maturity for the tourism sector at stage 2, meaning there are some initiatives being done, but it is actually not holistic. And we look at 4 areas, which are the solutions, usage, enabler, and policy and regulation. From the solutions, in terms of the supply of technology in the tourism space, there are available solutions, and the global ones are also in the local market. There are also local ones trying to break into the global market, but mostly they are all in silos and they're not integrated. Of course, the number of travel and tourism tech companies in Malaysia is not many. When we first started in 2023, when we started doing the research, we could actually calculate it by hand, the number of notable tourism tech companies born from Malaysia. And then, of course, point number three is actually the number of affordable solutions for adoptions by micro and small medium enterprises in Malaysia are not many. So this is a validated point that we actually have done with the industry. It is really a problem. I know globally you have all the big booking systems, you know, from the very, very big names, but these are all very expensive solutions, which the smallholders, which actually generates the largest chunk of the revenue in the sector, they are unable to adopt. From the usage perspective, we actually put it at stage 3 because in Malaysia, the use of technology and mobile devices is very, very high. Internet penetration is also very high. I think close to 100% now. It's about 97%. And everybody uses digital tools to book, but the experiences are not seamless. You would have to open multiple apps and websites to actually complete one booking for one trip, right? And then transactions mostly happen on website. This is actually a pain point given by one of the largest travel tourism tech platform in Malaysia. They have app, they have website, but most of their transactions, actually 90% of the transactions happen on the website as opposed to the mobile app. And then, of course, high cost of initial investment and maintenance when you want to do digitalization. So this is an ongoing gap that MDEC has been trying to address, not just in tourism sector, but also in the various other sector in Malaysia. In terms of the enabler, when you look at the infrastructure, talent, and funding, of course, Malaysia's internet connectivity is at 5G and 4G 100% in residential areas. However, when you talk about tourism hotspots in the rural areas, not near the residential areas, there are still some loopholes there. And how do we address that? And then, of course, the human resource issues which are still being faced by the hospitality industry, especially the frontline housekeeping services, which sometimes cannot be addressed by digitalizations or use of robotics to actually clean your room. It's too expensive to be done, right? And then, of course, not much focus is given to grow startups in the travel and tourism space. And this is actually a point that has been highlighted by Google and Temasek study that specifically mentioned investments in travel tech has declined since 2019. So that's a that's a validated point because for us, when we saw that, it actually reinforces the validation that we have done with the industry players in Malaysia. Policy and regulation side, as you know, digitalization tends to cut across multiple sectors. So for example, in Malaysia, our Tourism Act doesn't even have a proper definition for online travel agencies. And the short-term rental accommodation, which are the vacation homes, the Airbnbs, and things like that, they are in this new business, not really new, but this business is impacting two authorities in Malaysia, which is one Ministry of Tourism, and the other one is the local Ministry of Local Housing, right? So these two are also work in progress. And then, of course, how do we proliferate the use of blockchain, emerging technology in travel and tourism? This is something that is still new, and it's coming, but it's not being done, at least not what MDEC is aware of. I also want to highlight that MDEC, because we report to Ministry of Digital, we have also been invited to play a big role in contributing towards national tourism platforms. So number one, we are actually a member of the National Tourism Policy 2030 Steering Committee. This is a national level steering committee by our country. And I co-chair a Smart Tourism Working Committee with Tourism Malaysia. So hello, Kitty, we have the same role. And member of a steering committee for the review of our Tourism Industries Act and Regulations. So our Tourism Industry Act is like 1984 or 1989. It's very outdated, so it's in the process of being reviewed. We have actually provided input from the perspectives of digital platforms and technology, advancements of technology, and to make sure that the revised act will be robust enough to allow businesses in the tourism sector to flourish with the use of technology, right? Okay, so in the same study, we have also identified 4 hotspots of technology trends in the tourism space. So number one is, of course, smart inspiration, which I think right now the use of AI in driving tourism promotion is already happening. VR to drive promotion of destination is also happening, but it's not mainstream, right? And then next we look at connected travel. So this is actually very, very important. The seamless experience is not just for the travelers, but also for businesses. For example, when you are a merchant on an online travel agent platform, a booking platform, for example, customer book on the platform, but the platform confirms this booking with you, a hotelier, using email or WhatsApp. It's not integrated. And for you to have that integration, you have to pay premium, which they can't afford, right? So these are real problem statements by the industry. And of course, how do we connect travelers with authentic travel experience and getting them to be inspired to actually book and using digital to do this? Immersive travel is a new business model to gamify attractions. I have some example that I can share later. And also, how do we preserve culture and heritage using digitalization, and moving forward, how do we keep all these IPs and create new ones? Okay. Right. So this is a VR-driven promotion of destination example of smart inspiration. Xsugi is a Malaysian company. They have been doing really well with some 5-star, 4-star brand hotels in creating VR experience, because when hotels actually use VR, the likelihood, the conversion rate is actually higher. Conversion rate of watching the VR to clicking booking actual sales. So this is a validated success story from Xsugi itself. Aside from servicing 5-star hotels, they also serve small homestay operators in the rural areas, because aside from giving them the VR service at a really heavily discounted price, they also create platforms for them to have a digital asset, meaning you have a URL, you can do the booking there as well. Next one is generative AI, use of generative AI in trip planning. So TripClick is, just now Xsugi is a member of our Digital Tourism Innovation Lab. TripClick is also a member of our Innovation Lab. And this is a AI, use of generative AI in creating your itinerary. The way how it is being designed is actually very user-friendly, is a new way of designing your trip itinerary. This is Loka. Loka is actually also a member of our Innovation Lab. They have expanded to from only looking at Langkawi, a tourist island in Malaysia, and they have expanded into Penang, and then they are going out into Pahang and also some other places, and their main offering is actually hyper localization. We had an engagement with Korean tourism organization startups. Korean tourism organization, KTO, actually brought their startups into Malaysia for them to engage with ours. And one of the new OTA in Korea is actually very interested to actually work with Loka so that they can do some form of new product development, so that the Koreans will have some hyper localization when they are exploring specific locations in Malaysia. For connected travel, providing seamless experience for customers and businesses, I would like to share some example. One of it is actually Circoms. They are a specialist in budget hotels, and they are actually born from the budget hotels themselves. So the budget hotels, specifically the Sun Inn Group, have actually invested to create Circoms to design digital solutions for the budget hotel industry. They have actually done with their system, aside from a booking platform, ibook.com, to book budget hotels. They are also looking at property management system, campaigns, running campaigns, social media promotion, and everything else as shown in the slides. People always ask them about how can they compete with Agoda or Booking or Expedia, right? So their strength is actually localization, especially in terms of customer service. So they have a local team and it's on standby 24 hours, as compared to when you are booking on the global platform. Sometimes when you call and you are in trouble, you are 2 o'clock in the morning, your room is not there, no one is able to assist you, right? So this is their promise, and they have been doing really, really well. By joining our Innovation Lab, they have actually started piloting in Indonesia, a new market, and most of their first-time customers are experiencing exponential growth in their revenue, between 40 to 70%. Another homegrown solution is Rehat Automation. So Rehat Automation, very similar to Circoms, but they go one step further by having a smart lock integrated. So you don't need to have a kiosk anymore to issue your key card, your room key card. You just need to use your phone to access. That is from the perspective of the traveler. And from the perspective of the business, the hoteliers or the homestay operators, they are able to see their property management system, their inventories, syncing the automation, and managing their sales and the whole suite. So this is a Malaysian born startup. They were just set up late last year, I think, and this year they have secured 6-figure investment from Hassan VC, a global one, and another 6-figure investment from Malaysia as well. So they're actually growing really, really fast. And because their solution is very affordable, they have a very interesting subscription model. So it's very appealing to the small players. This is an example of immersive travel. So this is done by Tokyo Metropolitan Government. They are collaborating with Roblox. They created Tokyo Metaverse, and it is not just about having Tokyo in Roblox. It's also accompanied by an app, a mobile app that actually gets people when first they inspire people to experience Tokyo online, and then when the person goes to Tokyo, use the app to actually visit some key tourist attractions, and then interact with the whatever that's there, earn some tokens, and you can actually convert those tokens to become Robux and buy new things online. However, the effectiveness of this is has yet to be seen, but it is, again, enhancing the experience of new travelers, right? Preservation of culture and heritage. So this is an example of what Innovim, a Malaysian company, has done using technology to actually digitalize an archaeological site and putting this up online as part of a one is preservation, and number two also as inspiration. I also would like to share some other tourism trends which are shaping product innovation in this space. Number one is, of course, digital nomads, work from anywhere and be leisure. So these are long stay travelers. They spend a lot of money in any destination. I do think that Thailand is very smart for introducing the Destination Thailand Visa, DTV, to attract the nomads. Malaysia's digital nomad visa is not a tourist visa. It is a professional visit pass, which is also managed by my team. So it actually allows digital nomads to stay in Malaysia up to 2 years. So far, we have approved over 2,000 applications, and more than half of them are living in Malaysia, and most of them are already in their second year of their visa. They spend actually in Malaysia about $2,000 a month, and 40% of them are family members, are with their family, okay? And then another trend that I would like to highlight is on hidden gems and off the beaten path. So this is also things that you can actually find within travel platforms like Klook and things like that. And then, of course, millennials and Gen Zs and alphas, the future of travelers, the incoming ones within the next 5 to 10 years. How do they experience travel? How do we address, how do we prepare the industry to welcome these new travelers into the tourism sector? And finally, I just want to quickly go through, this is our national initiative to actually produce more tourism tech startups in Malaysia, and also at the same time try to address the gaps that are there in the industry itself. So we want to increase the supply of tourism tech solutions, match them with the industry, and then of course establish a tourism tech startup community. We actually welcome Malaysian as well as global tech companies to be part of the it's not an accelerator, it's not really a pre-accelerator, it's a mix of things. We open up to all types of startups. These are the problem statements that actually guide how the lab is run, right? So there are 10 problem statements and also opportunities. The top 5 have been validated actually twice, once last year and second time this year. And still number 1 is still current manual check-in process. Number 2 is a fragmented nature of booking process. Number 3 is the non-seamless tourist experience. Number 4, actually, the talents are not skilled to do this. And then number 5, limited access to affordable, innovative revenue automation. Everything else is actually lower priority for the industry for now, but it is definitely will need to be addressed within the next 3 years.
Fantastic.
Yes, and then our innovation lab is about 8 weeks. So we are now in our cohort 3. Actually, the demo day for our cohort 3 will happen on the 13th of November. So if you are interested to attend, it will be done in Kuala Lumpur. Please reach out to me or my team members. I have Razin and Shazli online, so you can actually chat with them directly. So the program actually, we work together with 1337, a venture builder, to come up with the program. And we have advisory and mentors from the industry themselves to actually be part of the program. As you can see, Tourism Malaysia is part of us. They actually provide input about a Malaysian tourism market. Sabah Tourism Board is there, Langkawi as well. Malaysia Budget Hotel Association, very valuable partner to us. Universal Holiday Travel, as well as MATA. Velocity Ventures and Garage Ventures are Singapore-based tourism tech investors. Not many VCs invest in tourism tech companies, and Velocity Ventures and Garage are 2 who specializes in tourism tech. Good Foodie Media is a digital agency that specializes in food, travel, and various other content. Very huge following, and they are actually a Malaysian company on their way to become a unicorn. Click Travel is also our partner, as well as Agoda. So these 2 are the latest ones which have joined our cohort 3. As you can see, we have 25 companies which are part of the program. Out of the 25, about 5 or 6 companies are not from Malaysia. Companies like PG.Inc, Medtrip, Doifu, and Pilgrim Pal. So Doifu, I think, is from India. Pilgrim Pal is from Indonesia. So Pilgrim Pal is actually quite interesting because it's an app to actually making sure that the pilgrims do not go missing when they go for Umrah or Hajj. So yeah, so these are all our cohort participants.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Thank you so much. So appreciated. That was like, we're kind of done with all the learnings that we need to have on technology. And it's so wonderful that we have the MDAC team just come in and Ms. Arifah sharing the insightful information. For those of you, I really want you to stop share. I really want y'all to listen in. When you're listening in, what is the opportunity here for you is the question you need to ask. Coming together, sometimes listening to webinars is not just about getting the information and the knowledge, but how do you apply it? How do you make use of the opportunity that's coming up? I'm seeing a lot right now in every sessions that we are going through the Institute Tourism. So constantly being in that mindset will really help us. So thank you so much, Arifah, for your time and really making this a very insightful session for everybody. Appreciate it. I look forward to meeting you on the demo day coming up next week. So with that, I would love y'all to, maybe, are we going for a short 2 minutes bio break before we come back? Do you want to do that? Mr. Areza?
Up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes bio break. That means you go bio and come back.
Okay,
Dr. Aziza, I think somebody was asking.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes, you can answer. Yes.
Yeah, in the chat room about if I can share the slide. Yes, I can share the slide. I will share it with Reza and Dr. Aziza to be distributed to the participants. Okay?
Yeah. Exactly. So thank you so much for talking about that, because we will normally Mr. Reza will put it up on the website so people can access it as well.
Exactly. That's exactly well organized. So like a magazine, so you can just go back, you see the profile of the speakers, you see all the PowerPoint and the recording, and it will be there permanently. So, and the people can contact also speakers directly from the page, and they can find their websites and everything is there. In fact, I want to use also the opportunity now to thank hundreds of speakers who are watching. Also, they are not in Zoom; they are watching in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, different websites, and so on. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for that reminder. I think there's Dr. Malraj is asking about digital nomad program. How do you access the motives? It's a
Okay.
question that
Right. Okay. So, Dr. Maras, thank you so much for your question. Our digital nomad visa program actually was an idea that we conceived during actually during COVID. And we were looking at how do we leverage on the digital nomadism trend to help reactivate the tourism industry. So Malaysian government actually provided MDAC with some funds to pilot the program. In 2022, we actually designed the program to have 3 key things. So number 1 is the nomad visa itself. So it is a professional visit pass. The documentation that is required for you to provide when you apply for the digital nomad pass is things like active project contract. You need to have a minimum, you need to meet the minimum income requirement for tech talent. It is a minimum of $24,000 a year. For non-tech talent, it is about $60,000 a year. And then aside from that, you need to also, if you are bringing dependents, all your documentation will need to be certified true copy by embassies or the respective ministries of foreign affairs from wherever that you are residing from. And then the team at MDAC actually requires 6 to 8 weeks to evaluate and do the due diligence to ensure that they are not participating in illegal activities or immoral activities. So things like we actually email and call the supposed employers or clients, because we check on remote workers as well. We go for remote workers as well as digital freelancers. So we look at their active project contracts or their employment contract. We reach out to their employers, reach out to their clients to confirm that they are having this contract valid. There's also a security check, because we work closely with our immigration department. So all the applicants, they go through the security list checked by our immigration. There have been cases where applicants have been flagged to have, criminal cases. And these are all things that we discuss internally between MDAC, Ministry of Home Affairs, as well as Immigration Department, to ensure that people that apply are legit individuals, and then they are doing actual work, and then they are able to contribute to Malaysia positively. Aside from the Nomad Pass, there's also some ecosystem services that we have put together, as well as accommodations that we have certified to be good for nomads to consider and choose to stay in. Yeah. So
I think it's going to be exciting. Maybe we should have a separate Institute of Tourism session for MDAC. What do you think? Maybe we'll discuss that on a separate note.
We can do that. No problem.
Yeah. More insightful. We get all the cohort to come in and also look at how they are benefiting the industry as well.
Sure,
Thank you. Thank you so much. So appreciate it. And so now we're coming into a very exciting segment, which we talked about earlier. What you just heard, the first 2 speakers, was why, and the most important part, why and what of digital transformation in the industry. Right now, we are going into the innovation and capital market conversation. We have Mr. Oliver Tien. He's from Singapore. He's an amazing human being. I've known him right now. I think it's going to be 3 years, October. Yes, we connected in October 2 to 3 years ago, and after COVID. He is actually the founder and director of Oliver Tien Associates, and also the vice chair of International Alliance of Robotic Association Singapore. He's a veteran in the funding space for technology, robotics, tourism, also in tourism and other industries for sure. And he has worked very closely with Korea, Japan, and the Europe side. So he's going to bring in a very different perspectives to the digitalization and the funding capacity. So Oliver, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Aziza. It's amazing what you say. I'm not sure how much I would attest to that. Having listened to Kun Kiri and Pun Arifa, I feel that they have done a lot more locally than what I've done. Maybe a quick introduction to what I do, in addition to what Dr. Aziza have said. I belong to two global organizations. So the International Alliance of Robotics Association is actually based out of Hangzhou in China, and the Global Robot Cluster is based out of Daegu in Korea. So China actually has its own space of looking at innovations in AI and robotics, and the Global Robot Cluster looks at 28 countries around the world in terms of different deployments. And I can see that from the list of participants today, some of my colleagues from Nepal and Indonesia are actually in the call. So very happy to see them here. Yes, I will share some thoughts around innovations in technology, particularly, and where you want to put your money that will make sense. But this is going to be a kind of conversation between me and Dr. Aziza. So, Dr. Aziza, I'll let you lead the call.
Absolutely. And I'm really interested to know, because we always talk about the technology is a very important element to, for tourism industry itself. So I would like to know from you, right, when we speak about the transition. So what do you see is the main transition in the tourism industry at this moment?
I think the tourism industry is going through a major change after the COVID exercise, right? Clearly and surely, there's a lot of money being put into this particular space itself. Tourism is probably one of the industry where it has given very little attention until now. And given that COVID has kind of shaken us a little bit, it is important we start to explore what is possible. I would say one of my major belief is that tourism will go through a transformation where the service dominant logic will step in and play a bigger part. So let me share a couple of slides in terms of what I'm talking about, right? So there we go. So this whole concept of a service dominant logic is where I think we clearly will see that we need to start to explore service as a product, and how do we treat it as a product in the whole life cycle to support the tourism industry. Now, why do I say that? Because AI has been talked about in many different conversations, right? From the earlier two presenters, I'm very impressed with what Malaysia has done. I think those are definitely good to put investments and thought around what it can achieve. We need to start to look at how we can move from a buzzword discussion to a bottom line discussion, right? It has to bring in dollar values to the industry, to the organizations that are investing in AI and robotics. And this is where the spotlight is on. Of course, we hear a lot about machine learning, deep learning. Now we've got the generative AI. And I can throw you a couple more buzzwords as we go along, right? One of the things that's coming out is regenerative AI. Then you've got AI agents that's coming out, and more, right? Researchers love to come up with such terms. But what we're seeing is that we need to eventually make money out of this whole thing. At the end of the day, right, I think it's very clear that the technology is moving so fast, right? It's taking shorter and shorter time to process and make technology come live, right? And if you look at some of the potential innovations that's taking place, clearly, when somebody comes up with a technology, very quickly it gets put into life, right? It's moving so fast that sometimes it's very difficult for us to catch up, right? And tourism industry needs to catch up, right, and play a part in doing this. So that brings me to the discussion around what can we do, right, to create value or to co-create value, not just within the organization itself, but with the players, the customers, the guests that come into your organization. And that's where tourism industry can play a big part. I see a lot of discussions that has been in place, and I like what Malaysia is doing. I like what Thailand is doing. Clearly, there is room for us to co-connect, right, the tourism, the travel organization with the guests and the travelers that come together. And to do so, one missing item is memories, right? How do we innovate and capture the memories that can be passed on? I like what Malaysia is looking at in terms of capturing some of this content on social media, and everybody tried to post it. Now, what can we do to bring that into a very integrated form, right? That allows memories to be moved from generations to generations in families, from colleagues to colleagues in organizations, from travelers to travelers, right? So somehow, somewhere, we need to be able to co-create that value. And this diagram actually shows some of the thoughts that's been discussed around the world today, right? In terms of possible way of kind of embracing memories as a innovative idea into the travel, right? Whether you are a digital nomad, whether you are using OTA, whether you are using traditional applications of tourist technology, I think at the end of the day, for all travelers, is the memories that count. And so far, we have not put ourselves into that shape itself. And to do that, I believe it's important that the business organizations, right, the hotelers, the travel agents, the attractions, you name it, need to start to understand how the customers or the guests, the travelers are looking at, right, the needs, and bring those two together. I like the discussion earlier around personalization or hyper-personalization, because personalization means you take into consideration what your customer want, right, and then build that into your innovation, right? Personalization also talk about being able to make sure that the service you offer is different from one customer to another. And today with technology, whether it's AI, robotic, that's definitely very much possible. And we want to be able to do that. So I see the whole transformation in the travel, tourism, and hospitality space, looking at how we can transform the tourism sector into a more service-dominated logic, and that can be applied into bringing more life into the travel industry, particularly looking at memories and how do we innovate to bring memories into the innovation cycle. So I'll park there for now, Dr. Aziza, and let's see what else we can talk about.
Yes, and I so appreciate, when we really get to understand the conscious work is what we are talking about, the power of human touch beyond anything. So how is the trend and the emerging expectations of the industry? I would love to hear from you, or, share with us some insights on that.
This is actually a very good discussion around the trends, and there are many talk around the world. Let me show a particular video, right? That kind of shares some brief that took place in Europe. So this is a Euro news that I'm trying to share here, right? A short about one minute video. Let's listen to it.
From robot cabin crew to regenerative travel experiences, innovation is breathing new life into the tourism sector, and profits are predicted to soar. Now, a recent report by the World Economic Forum indicates that the future of tourism will be driven by technological innovation and big changes to the way tourists want to experience new destinations when they travel. Well, one of the biggest emerging trends is a shift from traditional tourism focused on consumption to regenerative tourism, an approach where companies focus on creating a positive impact on local communities and the environment. And as tastes change, analysts are predicting that revenues across the sector will continue to rise. According to Statista, a leading online statistics portal, the tourism market as a whole is predicted to reach $916 billion of sales this year and grow annually at a rate of 3.9%, resulting in a market value of $1.1 trillion by 2029. Well, like so many other industries, artificial intelligence continues to transform the tourism sector. Innovations like biometrics at check-in desks and even robot assistants are popping up at airports all over the world. Recent analysis by software engineering firm EPAM predicts that tourism-specific AI will be worth $1.2 billion by 2026. As we look to the future of tourism, AI is transforming how we travel, while regenerative practices ensure we do it responsibly. Together, they're creating a new era of tourism that benefits both us and the planet, where technology and care for the environment go hand in hand.
One of the key things that we hear is that we need to start to look at both the application of technology from the traditional consumer tourism to regenerative tourism. And in the earlier discussions by both Kun Kitty and Pun Arifa, both of them talk about this, right? The social impact that we want to see happen. And I just want to highlight this particular message again from the video, right? It says that these are huge businesses that we're talking about. So when you talk about investment, right, there's definitely a lot of potential. Each country itself can do certain projects and build prototypes to work on it. But clearly, there's a need for us to come together from a very global initiative to drive some of this. And I like both Kun Kitty and Pun Arifa's invitation, right, to kind of work together, whether it's in Thailand, whether it's in Malaysia. And I can share with you from my travel to the different countries. Everybody's talking about cross-border collaboration. Now, what is important here is I think we're seeing some trends where AI will play a very important role, right? One message that I'm definitely seeing is the AI-powered agents will come together and help improve consumer experience, traveling experience. And this will need to streamline and integrate a lot of processes together. Pun Arifa talk about different processes that are not integrated and it's very troublesome. And a lot of travelers are very frustrated that they go to different platforms to get things done. So this AI-powered agent will come together and integrate all these processes together, make things happen. Real-time information is so key, right? Things are happening, things are changing. Hotel rates change over time. The traffic conditions in the different countries change over time. How can we make sure that we provide real-time information and this can be eventually captured as memories that can be passed on so that the next person who's going to travel to the same location gets clear memories that they can use and adopt. And AI can play a very important part in doing so. The next is really the augmented experience. I like what Malaysian projects are working on in terms of some of the AR, VR technology that's being applied. Clearly, it creates a lot of fun and interaction in the travel experience. And that brings the tourists back again and again, right? Whether it is a first visit to a country or a subsequent visit, these memories and this ability to have fun and interaction with the travel experience allow others to want to enjoy the same thing. The last point, which is very important, and I think we start to need to seriously think about it, is how do we ensure eco-friendly travel, right? This whole discussion around sustainability is not for other industry. Tourism included, we need to look at how we can definitely continue to preserve this space altogether. So I see those trends happening. There's a lot of discussion around regenerative tourism. So you can look this up in the website, and there's a lot of discussion here. I see this as eventually a move towards it. AI will play a very important role. Robotics, biometrics technology, IoT are already there. We need to look at how we can start to move into involving technology that can support us to save our planet and do a better job with it. So I'll leave you with that, Dr. Aziza.
Thank you so much. I'm smiling a lot because, when you show the robot, right? Robot crew, right? I'm imagining there's going to be a very reduced problem about customer service because the robot no emotion. And everybody will be traveling happy.
No, in some of the airlines that you travel, right, they are already using avatar to talk about, to give the safety message. I was just on Japan Air, and instead of the human actually doing all the demonstration, you have an avatar doing it. It's quite amazing. Yeah.
All right. It's all having fun. So thank you so much. These kind of speaking in what we call brightness of the future, that is a very powerful message that we all can take home. And what are the potential for us to collaborate and co-create? Then now everybody's mind will be like, wow, that's going to be so expensive. How are we going to get funded for that, right? So this is where governments need to come together. We have grants in the room. We know that. And then there is equity funding and debt funding conversations that can be made towards more powerful synergy in growing the industry. So thank you so much once again, Oliver, for the insights. And, we definitely have a lot of conversation to have moving forward on this as well.
I just want to leave the audience with one particular message. I'm a fan of quantum computing, right? And I like that a lot. And particularly Max Planck, who is the founder of quantum physics, shared one particular advice which I'd like to share with you. Right? He said this: when you change the way we look at things, the things you look at change. I repeat that, yeah? when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Sometimes we're so blinded by our past and what we did before, we become biased. We forget to look at things from a very different perspective, and that can help us find new innovations and new way of solving our problem. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much for the time, and I hope you enjoy the conversation.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. And everybody give you can put into the chat box if you have any questions later. We'll take it as well from Mr. Oliver. So with that, we have a couple of 3 different speakers showcasing how they are using technology, how they have transformed, and how they are bringing together conscious tourism into the space. And they will be showcasing to us the various funding and investment space they are operating from as well. So I'd like to invite Mr. Jackie Ong. He's the founder of CISW Holdings. And this is a very important partner of ours from Thailand. Thanks to Mr. Jackie Ong that we connected with Mr. Kitty and many other organizations, including into Malaysia, that I will be going in to speak on wellness under the Wellness Tourism Conference end of the month. So what Mr. Jackie has put together is actually the whole dynamics of medical and wellness tourism ecosystem. He's bringing together not only from Thailand, but also in the region and from Asia. So Mr. Jackie, welcome. You're muted. Yeah.
Hi, good evening.
Yes.
Yeah, nice to meet everyone. And then it was very interesting for all the speaker talk in
Absolutely.
the tourist and technology.
Yes.
Yeah. Also,
I would like. Yeah, go on.
And also apply to myself a lot. And then that this topic and also people talk on session can also very good interactive. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we would love to hear from you, right? In terms of your own personal, because you are doing some massive events in Thailand next year, on top of all the other events that you are partnering, supporting. So go to the website. We will put it into the chat group. You'll see all the events and activities you can participate to promote and also learn from what Mr. Jackie is putting together. So you are doing this, and how are you using technology for your events in wellness, tourism, and education platforms? I'd love to hear from you, like what kind of online marketing and stuff like that that's going on for you.
All right, very good. Okay, we are doing the event, and it's not just the event. We start first with the institute. We also develop the academics study on the, when you're talking about technology and all this, I think I would like to focus on the training and human resource development, capacity building. Even though I think many can, it's something new, right? It's about technology and all this thing. I think what the people lacking of the is a gap also, is about the knowledge, and then also they need a lot of the training and support on this, and we want to focus on this. So we also are going to actually is one of the big project that to connect together from our global summit will be the top wellness global summit. Will be more than 80 top speaker and expert workshop and for more than 30 countries around the world. And then 4 days we expect around more than 1,500 people, something, and business leader. So our main topic, the global summit will be the future of the health and wellness innovation. Subject to the innovation for all this, we also use the now to promote the wellness to wellness tourism. And we also would like to work with the hotel resort for them to open mind to diversify the business from the normal business as a hotel run business can become the wellness hotel resort. So we are going to develop the project. The name will be the wellnesshotelbooking.com. So this will be something exciting for next year for us, that to put all the hotel wellness to our website. When you go to booking.com, there's no stress mark that okay, they have the on the wellness, the service and all this kind of thing. So for us, we have very specific that no race and also everybody talking about the tourism. We also the key doing this thing. We would like to develop also the technology on the tourist, the tourist, the experience and engagement with the technology. Okay, so what we can see now, people develop the technology with the applied business, but human being, I think, is important. To see what is the feedback, to see what experience is good experience to share. When it's bad experience also to share, to learn also, and then also engagement between the between on this connect together. And I think I saw in the slide just recently talking about let's see, that's quite interesting also, and probably maybe we can look at this a bit more detail. I think on this Varu calculation, the customer engagement model, this one very good. So we see, I mean, when we develop the Global Wellness Summit, we also would like to have the people working with us, to use a lot of the innovation a lot, and then to adjustment with the new AI technology, even the healthcare, wellness, and also we would like to work with many tourist industry for investment as well. So we also would like to promote the hotel, to promote the tourists with the wellness. With we have a lot of the app technology that we want to adjust to have the hotel to use, like a health checkup to start with, because low cost is not big operate, and so. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just putting.
So I think that for the technology is important. We want to start the pilot with the health checkup with the hotel, and then also to build the engagement between the customer and then the application. So from our event, we also would like to have the survey, and so we have I think about 10 topic to have the panel discussion and talking AI, blockchain, data, and all this. And also I think that we also would like to see that all the people join our event. Also, we also try to develop also probably about the blockchain token, and people also can use for future also. And with the AI blockchain data, I think it's important. We want to connect all this, on information sharing, knowledge, this. Yes.
Thank you so much.
We just
go on.
We don't want just people just to transfer the information. People come and talk and speak. We want to have everybody that with a dialogue and sharing all this together, and then explore what is the solution for us now. I think it's a new game changing now with the AI coming, technology and all this thing.
Thank you so much. I think this is the conversation around the MICE industry. We are talking about technology coming into, how when we are running programs, how do we make it eco-friendly? How do we make it more sustainable and more, so many areas we can look at when it comes to that industry. I think we have a short video of the event that's going to be happening. Maybe Dr. Siddharth, can you help us play it? And I know this is a 1.5 hour session, Mr. Reza. I'm so sorry. We are passing a little bit out of time. We have two more speakers who have really awesome project demonstration of the conscious tourism space that we are talking about. So we would love them to present. And for those of you who can stay back, please do so. As we mentioned, we're going to be sharing with you the opportunities and how we can work together, collaboration in this dynamics as well. So can you, Dr. Siddharth, help with the video for Mr. Jackie?
Yeah, the video which was attached, right, in the mail.
Yeah, 1.53 minutes.
Yeah, the screen is visible.
Oh, no, not this one. Not this one. The other one, the YouTube video. That's right.
This one?
Yes, please.
Introducing Top Wellness Global Summit. TWGS 2025, the #1 wellness summit of 2025. Next year 11 to 14 June, 1-day seminars, 1-day workshops, 2 days site visit health and wellness activities. Future of global wellness, sharing insights, 80 plus top keynote speakers and experts. Transformative 4 days event. International event professionals from around the world, more than 10 plus themes trends. Global Health and Wellness 2025. Guests from 30 plus countries. First day seminar and gala dinner, featuring top keynote speakers from leading global organizations sharing ideas, exclusive insights, and investment opportunities. Exhibition booths, business matching. Meet with 40 plus world-class companies. Connect with top speakers. Second day, workshop and training. Exclusive training by experts. Third and 4 days, exclusive meet and greet. Wellness and well-being site visit activity from sponsors.
Nice.
It's a KL Wellness City, Malaysia.
Thank you. See you at the grand event next year.
Great. Maybe Mr. Jackie, you can put the link to the group for the event, and I think we can look forward to having more people learn about it and go to Thailand. It is such a wonderful place to discuss on conscious tourism and the way that we're going to show up together. So thank you very much, Mr. Jackie, for your activities there. And thanks, both of us went to Sabah at the Sabah Convention Center. We were there speaking into how we can work together, not only from Thailand, but also from Sabah, Malaysia, and many other destinations that we are identifying. So with that, I want to present to you the next case, I would say the showcase of how we have brought in technology and bringing in very simple models, but bringing in effective changes where funding and fundraising has become a valuation dynamics for the organization. So I'd like to invite Ms. Shraddha. Shraddha has been is the founder of Travel Baits, and she calls herself co-founder and business development director. A very passionate startup with a huge corporate experience in the travel industry. And let's look at how they are transforming the way traditional travel agencies can innovate and bring in valuation into their business. Welcome, Ms. Shraddha.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aziza, for the introduction. And am I audible and my slides visible?
Yes, you are. Yes.
So, good evening to all the esteemed guests and welcome to all the participants. I'm Shraddha Sinha and I'm the co-founder and director of Travel Baits. So first of all, I would like to thank Institute of Tourism and Go Global Accelerator for giving us this wonderful opportunity to talk on how we are working on digitalizing Indian tourism. So in the presentation, we would be taking you through our vision, the gaps in Indian tourism, and how we aim to address these gaps through our solutions. We will also be listing down our key USPs and the business roadmap. And towards the end of the presentation, I will take you through the demo of our product. So Travel Baits envisions a globally connected India through transformative tourism. So by transformative tourism, we aim to introduce immersive digital experiences. As we know, India is one of the most ancient civilizations of the world and is among the top 7 nations in terms of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We have around 35 cultural sites, 7 natural sites, and 1 mixed type sites. In addition to these, new sites get added every year. Despite all of this, the inflow of tourists in India, especially international tourists, remains very low. This is due to the lack of awareness about these sites. There is not enough content available for many important tourist places, and hence they have little or no visibility and remain largely undermarketed. So we've approached this problem with the help of technology and came up with 2 digital solutions. The first is a digital platform for video walkthroughs of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, while the second is an actual e-commerce platform which has an end-to-end provision for booking the physical tours across destinations in India. So the key USPs of our digital solution is that they are authentic as they are led by the local guides who are approved from the Ministry of Tourism of state and central government of India. Our product is affordable as it is priced at just $10 for lifetime membership and is accessible from all across the world as it is built on a SaaS platform. It is highly scalable also. The platform is very interactive as it has quizzes, badges, and earnings. It is also compatible with the new education policy of India. Let us now look at the business roadmap of our venture. So we look in the next 3 years, we look forward to impact around 200,000 clients and generate a revenue of $2.5 million. We target an M&A exit with an expected valuation of $10 million. We have raised a seed funding of $50,000 from Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. We are looking to explore capital market and raise more funds for fast scale-up. So our core team comes with a combined experience of 36 plus years, and we have experience across various domains like IT consulting, creative marketing, as well as tourism operations across India. We have global mentors, and especially Global Accelerator has helped us carve out our business roadmap and the financial roadmap to give us clarity for our venture. So let us quickly have a look at the demo of our product. So I'll quickly go to the website and show you what we have built. So this is the homepage of our digital platform. Here we have, as you can see, we have kept the price very low. It's rupees 850, and the user comes and wishes to enroll. He can just pay. He can pay here and enroll for the program. So once he's paid for the program, he gets a username, password, and so he logs in here with his username, password, and comes to the this platform. he can see all the available courses here. And he
Okay,
clicks on one of the video walkthroughs.
is it just me or are we having a lag here?
I think her voice is not coming over clear.
Yeah. So maybe Shadaji, you can create the demo later. Maybe you can stop share. Maybe there's too much of this thing going on. Maybe you can share the link where people can go in and take a look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'll share the link here. Or I have a
Yeah.
video as well. If you want, I can just share it from our presentation.
Okay.
Sure. Just please also send it to me. We put it anyway on the website, and most of the
Yes.
views comes afterwards, so it will be under your
Yes.
name. Just share it with
Exactly.
me later on. Thank you.
Sure, I'll do that. Yeah. So, do you want me to play the demo once?
I think it's okay. Then maybe what we will do is we will share it on the online later on for them to look at it as well. Is that okay?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
how would you
sure.
want to round off your experience being a technology, moving into technology and all the conversation today?
Yeah, so the conversation today is quite relevant for our venture. As you know, we have been working through the digital tourism space, in the digital tourism space from the past like around 6 years. And we found traction. Our idea has been validated by the government of India and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And it's very, we're really excited to see the transformation in the tourism space, because it has moved from the traditional space to the current trend, which is users are moving more toward the digital experiences. They do not want to experience tourism in a traditional way. Rather, they want to go for authentic and immersive tourism in the current years. So the shift we've seen is what we are trying to work on and build products which can suit the user needs for the current era and the Gen Zs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So appreciate it. And sometimes we look forward to having more conversations with everyone on this. Thank you so much, Ms. Shraddha. So we sometimes keep the best for the last. As I always say, he's not the last. I'm going to be the last because I want to share some insights with y'all. But Dr. Siddharth is coming in from India as well, like Ms. Shraddha. He has created a very exciting, technology transformation. Again, it's completely different, a normal business model that has been value added. So let's hear from Dr. Siddharth. Welcome, Dr. Siddharth.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Aziza. Hello, everyone. So basically, I'm here to talk about how we have integrated technology into our well-being model. I represent a company called Wellbe, which is basically a corporate wellness startup. And the technology that we have integrated is basically to kind of mitigate, prevent, and reverse the chronic lifestyle ailments, which is quite prevalent in the corporate workspace. Which is kind of impacting the overall workplace productivity and also impacting the organization's bottom line. So basically, to start off, we incorporate Ayurveda, which is completely on a tech stack, on a tech platform. Initially, it was a teleconsultation platform. That is how we started. Pandemic kind of prompted us to pivot or kind of evolve our business model, and we shifted from just being a telemedicine company to a proper wellness startup, wherein we used Ayurveda. Ayurveda traditionally is known to work best in case of chronic lifestyle ailments like mental health, diabetes, and hypertension and stuff. So we integrated that. And along with that, we use virtual reality exposure therapy, the immersive environment of virtual reality, to kind of mitigate mental health conditions like fear, phobia, anxiety, PTSD, and stuff. So it's like a mix of modern and traditional approach that we have, and the tech stack is pretty solid at this point of time. It's a layered offering that we have. It starts off with a with a well-being score, we call it, which is like a health score given to an organization, because every organization needs to have data and intelligence on how they should customize a wellness package, because that has always been the issue with most of the corporate. They have gone ahead with multiple such offerings, but the adoption with the employees have not happened, right? So we work hand in hand, with the HR, who are basically champions of well-being in their organization, and we deploy this solution, which is in a combination of online and offline, methodology. So for online, we have Ayurveda consultation, which is in a mix of different other alternative care services like guided meditation, guided yoga, certain dietary recommendation, some unique offerings such as Reiki healing and pranic healing, which is all on the non-intrusive, non-pharmaceutical side, and completely mitigating the lifestyle diseases that is prevalent in the workspace. So that we do. And then on the offline side, we have virtual reality exposure therapy. So we set up a dedicated virtual reality experience center with a dedicated psychologist, which gives the in-person touch of a clinician, so to say. So that is how we operate, in a mix of online and offline method. And the technology, like I said, it's very layered. Starts off with a well-being score, which kind of forms the basis of plan customization for the HR. And then the wellness package is auto-generated. So it starts off as an AI-driven framework, which is generating that score. And that score is kind of leveraged by the organization to customize the package, which is a combination of, Ayurvedic consultation and, some virtual reality session. So, that is how the technology has been incorporated. We have currently been backed by the government of India, under, by Department of Science and Technology under Nidhi Seed Support program. We are also backed by HDFC Bank through their CSR initiative. Through their CSR fund, it's called Parivartan Grant, specifically for mental health initiatives. And apart from that, we have also been quite active in the in the fundraising kind of a ecosystem as well. So at this point of time, we joined hands with Go Global to kind of validate the model in the international space, and also expand overseas, through their expertise and through their network. So basically, that is what we are up to at this point of time. And as far as the funding scenario is concerned, we are pretty much open with the idea. But the idea here is to mainly replicate the model in a wellness, in a tourism context, in a tourism setup, basically. So the corporate wellness model kind of synergizes with what the tourism industry is also planning or up to. And in that regard, we plan to have some health kiosks, which can, on the Ayurvedic principles, there are certain Vata Pitta Kapha assessment that we conduct. So any individual who's randomly walking into the hotel can directly do their Ayurvedic assessment, and they can get their mind body type analysis done. So that helps them to understand which category they fall into in the Ayurvedic scheme of things, and then the further plan customization or further intervention can be planned. So that is one methodology, that is one model that we are planning. Then on the other hand, we are also there are a huge scope around wellness retreat with corporate. So for that also we are planning to tie up with certain hotels on the model of wellness retreat. So basically, overall, that is what we are up to at this point of time. And basically, the success that we have had in India in the corporate wellness space, we are trying to replicate that in the overseas market through the expertise of Go Global, and see how things move forward for us. Yeah, so that's all from my side.
Thank you, Dr. Siddharth. Because of time constraint, he didn't show his slides, so we really want you to get it to us. Thank you so much for that. Do you have your VR gadget with you right now? I know I didn't ask you for that.
I don't have it right now. It's in my bag.
Okay.
I don't have it
All
right
right.
now.
I have to say, I realized I have stayed a height fear when I went through the VR thing. Literally, I was having this VR thing on me, and I was standing somewhere and I felt like I was going to jump off, and I had to overcome my fear of heights, and actually I went through a process to overcome my fear of heights. Honestly, I feel much better right now when I'm in heights. But before that, when I used the VR, it was really something that supported me. So there's so many different initiatives that's coming out when it comes to wellness tourism and wellness support for the ecosystem as well. So Thank you, Dr. Siddharth, for the work that you're doing. Can you put your website into the chat group? So he's the founder of Wellbe, which is the organization that is doing this amazing work. So thank you once again. So friends, do you have questions? Can you put into the chat group? Thank you so much, Mr. Zach. You have shared your details. Maybe everyone else, if you would like to get connected, to stay in touch with everybody, I think it's high time you do that as well. And share with us your Zoom link, your LinkedIn link, so that we all can stay connected. I just want to leave you with a very important dynamics of what we are doing in Go Global. I don't want to talk about what we have done, that we will show it in the slides. You can take a look at it. What I want to really bring you is the message of what I call, what are we up to in the industry, which I feel is very important. As you can hear, we are doing a lot of strategic investment portfolios with various organizations. And Go Global has been addressing all the various issues. We are creating a very strong ecosystem in every country. We all know today we are talking about technology and funding for digital transformation. At the same time, every issue in this page that you see to not just make the industry pandemic proof, but also future proof. And it all boils down to the access and strategies for funding. And I'm sure you all relate to it. You want to put a yes if you relate to what I'm talking about. So Go Global has evolved over the last 20 years from being just a consulting company. We've ventured into the whole dynamics of from education and membership to solutions, not just in technology, but all the various factors. And we are actually the equity and investment funding platform and community. So we are not a middleman that just finds you funds. We actually become part of the ecosystem. We already have portfolio companies with us in the region, in Singapore, Malaysia, India, and we are expanding it right now with Almighty's grace into Vietnam, into Thailand, into, Sabah is one of our favorite spot right now. We're working very closely with the Sabah Convention Center, already in conversation with Invest Sabah and other Invest Saudi, also in Invest India and other organizations as well. So what are we doing in this space? So we are in the mission of putting together 100,000 SMEs to learn about globalization, to learn about travel and tourism industry so that we can come together. So what are we doing with all these various bodies when we meet them? Is to show them how in the various discussions in the last decade with the industry players, if you can take a screenshot, you realize these are the 5 fundamental. One of the highlights is the power of the mindset of the entrepreneurship in the industry, which is, very staggered. And then I also want to highlight the skilled workers. New ideas, technology, innovation is new. How much are people aware of it? In fact, one of the tourism board actually told me, someone with 40 years in the tourism board in one of the countries actually told me they don't have ideas. Can you imagine? This is the Asia country organization. So this is where we're talking about critical thinking, creative thinking, and fundamentally what Mr. Kitty talked about, collaboration and partnership in a very strategic way that we co-create and collaborate and come together is the biggest concern. And finally, understanding of the equity market. I had someone talk about, how do we go into, supporting funding for and overcoming poverty. That is one part, fine. But what is even more exciting is there is so much of opportunity in the equity market, and you are hearing from all these various countries, be it Malaysia, be it Thailand, be it India, that you are hearing. We have one of our partners in the room, Madam Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining us today. She's in the health tech and fintech space in the global market. She's expanded extensively. Right now, she's into investment space. She's also an angel investor. So we do have investors in the room as we speak about it. There's so many opportunities for you to access funds through government, through various bodies. So how are you able to access it? The SMEs and the small medium enterprises and the technology in the tourism space do not know how to access. They do not know the value of equity funding. So this is where we feel all the gaps are. So what Go Global does, Shine Go Global does, is to go into the country, your individual country, help you to identify. We have so many people coming to us, invest in us, invest in my business, invest in our country. But my question is, we always have this question, what are your investable projects? Can we go ground level and get local partners to make your business projects investable and bankable? Let's prepare them. That is the dynamics we are looking at to identify the projects and then present them to investors. And we are, as I said, we are not middlemen, so we don't just stop you by, come, let's match and go. We actually get into the ground level by becoming part of the execution team. So we actually hold stakes and equity when we are executing these projects. So that's where you saw our seven portfolios. Our vision is to have 100 companies come together in this dynamics of growing together as one ecosystem. So this is where we are. So if you are looking at this framework, so we keep saying conscious tourism, our initiative looks at the various stakeholders that come together. So when we talk about acceleration, when we talk about impact investment, these stakeholders coming together, we have narrowed it down into sustainable, halal, and vegetarianism coming together as one focal point. If you know, you may see sustainable and halal come together, or you may see vegetarian and veganism come together. You very seldom see these two come together, but now we are putting all of them together in our ecosystem. So we're very selective to the kind of projects we take on. We are standing for conscious tourism, not just as a travel space, but a community that will hold together in each country that we go into and work together on. So we have the framework, we'll send it to you. And I want to leave you with a message that's very close to our heart. Because every entrepreneur, especially in the travel, tourism, hospitality industry, in the conscious tourism space, we want to ask you to ask yourself and ask all of us as we come together, how do we make the world work 100% of the time for 100% of humanity without any ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone in the shortest time possible? And the word here is through spontaneous cooperation. Excuse me, we can spontaneously come in and cooperate and to overcome without any ecological damage or disadvantage to anyone. So that's the question we all have to ask in our business, and we can come together and make it a very powerful journey. We want to give you our free membership in Go Global. These are the various activities that we do, and we keep you updated. These are one of the many projects that we do online. Last 20 over years, we've been doing online and offline. During COVID, we did about 1,000 over online events with investors and business leaders. So go into this link and get your free Go Global membership that you can access. And we are looking at national growth. Every country in the region and globally to get empowered locally, to have a powerful national growth, thriving internally so that we can create regional development and global prosperity. That's where we come into global peace through global business. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And thank you so much for everybody being part of the conversation. Reza, Mr. Reza, back to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Aziza, for the wonderful chairwoman being this event. And thank you all the speakers. Thank you so much. I don't know if there are any other questions before we are closing. Just remind everybody the recording will be up there on our website in the coming hours, including the biography. And please send me your PowerPoints, media, whatever you have. I'm talking to the speaker, so we can share it with everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Madam Jennifer, is there anything you want to add on before we close off as well? What's your take on this conversation today we had?
So you've introduced me as a tech partner, and then you also introduced me as an investor. So if I have to say that, let me just tell everyone that definitely if there is a proper tech in the tourism industry, investor will never say no to it, because COVID is one of a kind which has happened, and that is something which is always unpredictable. But after COVID, if you see, look at the travel, look at the tourism space that has gone up. It has just shot up like anything. And people have come up with the statistics saying that $800 billion is what that is going to come up by 2024, by end of 2024. So obviously, if you look at the statistic which shows as the e-tourism space, it's almost approximately $1.2 trillion that we are saying. And by another 10 years, it would go up to approximately $2.3 trillion. So you look at the travel space, which is going on. Of course, as an investor part, if I have to say, then if there is a tech, and tech means on the very top list, which is there is definitely AI. It then comes as big data, and then comes obviously IoT, which is there, augmented reality, virtual reality, which already people are talking over here. Dr. Siddharth is talking about virtual reality. Yes, if these are all included in your tech, why not an investor will go ahead and invest? Of course, they do invest on the richness of your capitalism and your valuation of your tourism business. Yes, definitely the investors will also be a part of this. So this was just an overall thing that I would like to highlight to all, because I know we've almost come to the end of the session. But pleasure meeting all of you all. Thank you, Dr. Aziza.
Thank you so much. How apt is it to end with a person who does technology and funding together? Thank you so much for that. Thanks to Ms. Arifa, Mr. Kitty, Mr. Jackie, Dr. Siddharth, Madam Ms. Shraddha, as well as Oliver and Madam Jennifer for saying yes. And our Go Global team, you want to put yourself into the chat group and also connect with everyone. Thank you once again, Mr. Reza, for making this happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Hope to see you soon again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.